This is Pastor Charles from Bux-Mont Baptist Church, and I have the pleasure today of interviewing Cindy Woolman about how to prepare to sell your home and actually go through the home sale process. It's spring. A lot of people are looking to sell homes right now, and so I wanted to interview Cindy to give some great tips and resources to you. You know, at Bux-Mont Baptist Church, we want to provide you with good content and resources to help you in life. So thanks so much for being on today, Cindy.
Thanks very much for having me, Pastor Charles.
Yeah, Cindy is a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. She's been an agent, a realtor for 5 years and a real estate investor for 35 years, which is very impressive. And I look way too young to be in real estate investing for 35 years. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I started with my allowance.
There you go. Hey, we try to teach our boys to do that as well. I bought them this entrepreneurship book and said, you know, start now while you're young, you know.
Absolutely. They can never start too young.
Okay. So just to jump right in, you know, what are some things that somebody should do before they even contact a realtor or a real estate agent when they want to sell their home?
Well, I think they have to be committed to the idea, right? So anytime that you're choosing to do something, it requires a commitment. So for people like myself that tend to have piles all over the house, you're not going to be able to do that. There's going to be people coming in and out of your house. So your house is a showcase all the time, and you have to be prepared for that. In our current COVID environment, you need to be aware of how you're going to handle people coming in and out of your house and your comfort level with that as well. And there are various things that can be done to ease people's comfort level or to make the process as easy as possible with what people are feeling in these particular times.
That's some great advice. I remember when we were looking for our home or torn houses, you know, last year during COVID, some people would put hand sanitizer out, which would make, you know, feel a little bit more comfortable going in. Some people would have those little boots you put over your shoes as well. Some people would even put out candy. I remember we were selling our house when we lived in the DC area, and we would put out, this was before COVID, a bowl of Hershey Kisses, and, you know, just to make people feel welcome as well. So it seems like, you know, when somebody's even thinking about selling their home, they should, you know, kind of begin, one, make that commitment, you know, it's a commitment to sell their home, and then begin the decluttering process, right? You know,
absolutely.
Cleaning up and getting things in order. What are some things that folks should do to actually choose a good real estate agent?
That's a great question and really important. You want somebody that you can relate to, because it's a big commitment to make sure they understand where your comfort level is and where your expertise is in the selling process. So you want somebody that you can work well with. You want to understand their marketing techniques. We live in a digital world, so agents really need to be familiar with the digital platforms and understand how they're going to promote your home in the most appropriate fashion for the way the market is currently. I like to have professional photos taken of all my properties so that they show extremely well on the multiple listing sites. And also choosing the appropriate photos to put in the beginning of the deck and kind of telling a story with that as well. Video is also very appropriate. So you're going to want to make sure that your realtor is really thinking about the marketing of your home, how to price it in the market. We're really fortunate right now. It is a seller's market, but you still have to strategically sell the home at the appropriate price for the market. So your agent can help you determine that.
Yeah, that's all really good advice as well in terms of choosing an agent. and making sure that they're doing the right things. I remember when we were looking at houses, some of the pictures would be absolutely horrible.
Mhm.
And, we would not even go see those homes. And then other times we would see really great pictures, which would make us go see it. But then we see the house and we're like, oh, this doesn't look like the pictures at all. So those agents did a really good job
Mhm.
driving more traffic compared to the other ones. And yeah, that first picture on those listings are usually what bring you in or not. And
Mhm.
it's interesting. I remember the strategy some folks would have, like the front of the house, really
Mhm.
nice picture, but other homes, it'd be a picture of the kitchen with granite countertops as the first picture. And then as you scroll through, you see a picture of the front of the house and it looks horrible. So it was like, a lot of different strategy to actually
Absolutely.
age. So yeah, it's definitely important to have a realtor that knows those things and is thinking about the way to market your house as well. So you talked a little bit about pricing your home, especially in this market.
Mhm.
I know there's different strategies about that as well. How do you know that a realtor is pricing your home appropriately, or that your house is priced appropriately?
That's a great question. And the real estate agents can do a comparative market analysis. And we look at past sales to see comparable square footage, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, outside plots. But no house is really the same. There's condition that you take a look at. There's also the size of the lot, how many garage spaces, indoor, outdoor, various different things that come into play. So you use your experience to make those adjustments. And also, right now, if financing is critical, um, the buyer needs to make sure that the appraised price matches the offer price. So you want to go to closing. So both buyer and seller have to keep that in mind, um, with how the house is priced and also what offers they accept.
Great, great. That's I know the comparative home analysis is super important. Just seeing what else is selling in the neighborhood, the
Mhm.
and things like that. And uh, yeah, we remember looking at some houses as well, and some people just way overpriced it
Yeah.
for the neighborhood, and it stayed on for a long time. And eventually they had to drop it so much because is it what happens when your house isn't selling, right? Are people less likely to look at your house if it's overpriced, or what are some of the consequences of not being priced appropriately?
That's a good question. So if it's not priced, you can get out of the range that people want to be in that could afford your house. So you might not be targeting the appropriate audience. So you've missed your audience. And right now, houses are selling within 20 days. So if you've missed that market, there's probably something wrong with your pricing strategy. We all love our homes and do a lot of work, and sometimes you over improve for the market and then you expect a buyer to be able to pay for that, and they aren't willing to. So personal tastes can sometimes play into that. Something that was maybe very personal and terrific for your style may not translate well to today's buyers. So that can be in a bit of conflict as to why a home won't sell.
Yeah. Do you recommend engaging an agent first, or a realtor first, to kind of look at the home and maybe make suggestions for staging or other things? Or should people try to do the neutral colors and things like that even before engaging an agent?
I think it's great to have an agent involved because it's that give and take. You know, we see every day what's going on. We're aware of the houses and the trends that people are going towards. I mean, if you're great at watching HGTV and can make those appropriate changes yourself, that's great. But sometimes, you know, it's just a little pop of color and pillows and some different things, some more neutral things that as unbiased as we try to be in our own homes, it's not always easy.
Yeah, and to your point, personal preference might not be the other preference, and then you don't want to over improve and not get the price, because some things it might just be a coat of paint and you spend 6 hours painting, but at the end of the day it didn't add any value and your house was going to sell in that 20-day time frame anyway. So that's a great point to definitely engage an agent. um, what are some tips about staging the house, or even just before somebody does a walkthrough, right? Like they call, they make the appointment, you have to get out of your home. And I have some stories about people not getting out of their homes,
Mhm.
what are some tips that a seller can do before a walkthrough?
So really basic is cleaning the house. You would be surprised at what a difference that can make. A thorough cleaning, and that means windows, sorry, but cleaning windows is really helpful because people can look out and they feel that the home is well maintained when it's clean and tidy. And you brought up a great point of decluttering. When you're committed to moving, you're going to have to move anyway. So why don't you take some of those knickknacks and pack them up in a box, in a closet, and make sure the home is neutral, where nothing's going to get damaged, and you're starting the packing process to begin with. So there are two really basic things. You're outside, you want to make sure that's tidy too. If you have weeds, you're going to want to pull those weeds or mulch the beds in the springtime. All those common sense type of things that you would be doing anyway, or maybe when somebody's coming to your house for a party, that's the way you want to get your home ready. And then those extras are the things like having a realtor come in and help you do some neutralization of comforters and beds and pillow pops and things like that. Or if you have the means and want to stage it, that can be an added benefit.
Yeah, that's some great tips. I remember when we were looking at places and you walk up to it, and if the things are manicured well and clean, you're like, wow, they really cared about this place.
Yeah,
You know, and then if it's all dirty and disgusting, it's like they didn't care about where they were living at all. And
right.
it's a judgment call, because one person could be really good at maintaining the mechanicals, and the other person
Exactly.
could have just been, just cleaning up the dust and the dirt, and not taking care of those mechanicals. But yeah, it's just part of that feeling you get. And buying a home for us, and I think for most people, is so personal, right? Like it's
Absolutely.
live. And yeah, so that's some great tips. So say you're at a point and your home is not sold in the time frame that you hoped it would sell, or it's just, you're not getting offers. What should somebody do at that point in time if it's not selling, or what are some of the common issues? And you talked a little bit about that, pricing being one, but
Mhm.
give any more detail or advice on if the house isn't selling.
Well, we live in a time of really having great information. So a lot of times you get information from the people that have walked through the house before. Be realistic. You've gotten feedback on the house. So really be mindful of what that feedback is. You've had, let's say you've had 10 people through the house. there would be some comments in there, or your agent can go back to those other agents and say, hey, look, what was it about this house that your clients didn't like? And sometimes it's things you can't do anything about, like it's on a busy street, or the neighbors next door aren't as tidy as they should be. So there may be some things that are a bit out of your control, and it just may require more showings. It may require a price adjustment. Your price might not be right. You may need to lower that a bit to be in alignment with the market, but really listen to what the other agents and the consumers said, and take it to heart.
Yeah, that's great advice. And also to go back about knowing if you have a great agent, right? If they're getting that
Right.
feedback and that input and telling you what the people are saying at walkthroughs, that's a good sign that they're really doing what they should do as well. So great. Thanks so much. Are there any other tips that you have for selling your house?
Now's a great time to do it. So if you have any thoughts of it, really have those conversations with a realtor. It's a really good time to sell. And some people are saying, well, what am I going to do if I sell my house? Where am I going to go? Sometimes it's nice to have a transition year, to rent someplace, figure out what you're going to do next. Everybody thinks they have to go from sell to buy, but that isn't always the case. There are some opportunities to go live someplace else for a year, go try out another place, or go live and visit your kids for a year, or do something like that. It's a real opportunity, and these sellers markets don't happen all the time. So if you're one that wants to seize opportunity or in a bit adventurous, go for it. It's a great market for you.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic. And some great advice too. And in a year, to rent for a year, I actually know somebody who's doing that, sold and is renting. The interest rates are still going to be low in a
Right.
year. They might go up a little bit, but they're still going to be low, and who knows what could happen with the market as well. So great advice. Thanks so much, Cindy, for joining us today and giving some solid home selling advice for folks.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. We're also going to do another video on tips on buying a home. So please look out for that. You know, at Bux-Mont Baptist Church, we just want to be a blessing to the community. We want to help you any way we can. So if there's ever anything we could do, please reach out to us. Thanks so much for watching.